is enough said.
What's up, Heat Nation? Your boy Ernest here, back with another Miami Heat Talk video. Guys, please, if you haven't already, don't forget to like, share the video, subscribe to the channel, because we're on pursuit to 6,000 subscribers. Now, please join me as we go on another Miami Heat Talk adventure. The Heat have a game tonight against the Atlanta Hawks, you guys. At this point, playing. That's what we're focused on. The Heat are not going to get out of the play-in tournament at this point in a tanking mode. Doesn't matter how much they lose. The Heat are still 5.5 games above Toronto. And Toronto's tanking. You saw the game they had the other day where they basically benched their starters in the fourth quarter. They're tanking. So the Heat's not going to get out of the play-in. So what I say, if you're going to get into the play-in, go for it. Go for it. I mean, if we've not learned anything about this team, don't count them out. In 2023, you guys, when the Heat were fighting in the play-in, a lot of fans were thinking lose and get a better draft pick. But we saw what the Heat did. Now, can they do the same thing this year? Probably not. But it'll be fun to watch and it'll be entertaining. And to be honest with you guys, I've said this before, but I would prefer the Heat to make the playoffs. Because if they make the playoffs, yes, they lose their pick this year to OKC. But the protections are lifted in 2026 and 2028. And this is beneficial, you guys, because the Heat already have Golden State's pick this year. And with the loss against the Heat, it brought them down in the standings a little bit. Golden State's trying to get out of the play-in. So the lower in the standings they are, the worse that they do, as long as they don't finish bottom 10, will get their pick. So the worse they do as far as like playoff seeding, the higher their draft pick is, which we get. So I'm cool with the Heat making the playoffs. I'm cool with not having 2 first-round draft picks if it means we have more draft picks for the future. Because what does that mean? You have more flexibility with a trade. Now you have more assets to include in a potential trade. And right now, you guys, that's what I think this Heat team should focus on. A lot of players may become available this offseason. I posted a video yesterday about Giannis Antetokounmpo. Now that Dame Lillard's out with the blood clot, what's going to happen there? You also have John Morant. You also have Anthony Edwards. There's a lot of names that might become available this offseason. You get more draft capital, you're in the game. Now, before we get to today's topic, you guys, I do want to give a shout out yesterday. I did post 2 videos, so if you haven't checked them out, go check it out. But comment of the day, you guys, as you know, I'm a father, so anytime I can help a fellow parent, I'm there. My boy DJ Emery comments yesterday, can you give my son Liam Jacob a shout out? He loves your channel and we both love the Miami Heat. I would love to show him a shout out by you. Liam, my man, Ernest with Miami Heat Talk here, my brother. I want to thank you so much for your support. Your dad, DJ Emery, goes out of his way for you to get this shout out, so I'm giving you a shout out. I hope you have a great day. If you're in school, bust your ass and get good grades. God bless you. God bless your family. And now, let's move on to the topic. Now, for the reason why I got this jersey on, you guys, this is an old school LeBron James Miami Heat jersey. And here's the proof. It's not Eddie Jones, it's LeBron James. Anyway. Reason why I got this jersey on, you guys, I want to talk a little bit about LeBron James. I want to talk a little bit about Pat Riley. Because LeBron James was in the Pat McAfee show yesterday, and I loved it. You know, he put Stephen A. Smith on blast about the whole ordeal with talking about his son. I thought, as a father, I thought that was great. But he did mention the Miami Heat yesterday, you guys. Give me 1 second. He mentioned the Miami Heat yesterday. I was just fixing up the notes that I have here. Anyways, he was talking about how he went to the Miami Heat. He was talking about certain things that Pat Riley did. So I want to talk about him here. First, he says when he joined the Miami Heat. That was one conversation I wanted to touch on. You know, he said that he's a kid from Akron. He was 25 years old when he went to the Miami Heat. You know, when he played with Cleveland, he was living in Akron, he was saying. So going to the Miami Heat for his mentality was kind of like going to college. He said, I didn't go to college. So going off to Miami was like moving out of my parents' house. I was going off to college. And as we saw, you guys, LeBron James coming to the Miami Heat was huge. 4 straight NBA Finals, 2 NBA championships on 2012 and 2013. LeBron James was a godsend here to the Miami Heat. LeBron James was the reason why Pat Riley got the name The Godfather. Pat Riley was not the Godfather before that. He was respected as hell in the NBA, but wasn't really known as the Godfather. It took Pat Riley going into a meeting with LeBron James and doing something none of the other teams can do, and that was drop those rings on the table. Pat Riley, love him or hate him, he's very intelligent. He's very smart, and he knows exactly what to do. And at that time in 2010, he knew that LeBron James at 25 years old, constantly losing to Boston in the playoffs, and having this problem with his home team where they couldn't get him anything better, he knew what LeBron wanted. He played on the emotional strings. All the teams that LeBron was meeting with, Cleveland, New York, Chicago, Brooklyn, all of these teams that he was meeting with couldn't give him that answer that he wanted. How am I going to win? Maybe Chicago with Derrick Rose, Joakim Noah, Luol Deng, getting LeBron and possibly getting Wade. That would have been a nightmare. But what did Pat Riley sell him on? Winning. Pat Riley throws the championships on the table, tells him he can get him and Wade and potentially another max player on the team, and the rest is history. LeBron, Wade, and Chris Bosh come to the Miami Heat and form the Big Three. But we all know something as Heat fans. That final season, 2014, things seemed different. It wasn't the same cohesive unit. It wasn't the same team that we saw do the Harlem Shake in 2013 during that 27-game winning streak. You saw a different team. You saw a team that was done with it. You saw a team that was kind of over the jokes, as Wade and Chris Bosh and Shane Battier have said in the past. But one thing that's been coming out of the woodwork is why LeBron left Miami. Now look, LeBron left Miami because he wanted to go home to Cleveland. It's like LeBron said. He was in college in Miami, was here for 4 years. He was 30. He wanted to go back home and help Cleveland win. But you know there were little things also that caused LeBron to leave. In the 2014 season, Dwayne Wade was just hampered by injuries. So you had a lot of different starting lineups. Chris Bosh kind of gave you his best. You saw what he was. And LeBron saw Cleveland over there with Kyrie Irving coming up, going back home. He learned how to be a better leader here in Miami. He took all that stuff he learned from Miami to Cleveland and helped them win a championship. But there were certain things that happened, in my opinion, that caused LeBron to leave. And one thing that's been coming up a lot lately is this chocolate chip cookie thing. The double dunk chocolate cookies. As my boys bringing the boom would say. Anyways. So Dwayne Wade first talked about this a few weeks ago, how they were on a certain flight, and when they're on flights, LeBron James needs to have his chocolate chip cookies. One particular flight, they didn't have them. LeBron looked at them and said, "Where's my cookies?" And they told LeBron, "We can't bring cookies here anymore." LeBron looked at Wade, Wade looked at LeBron, they looked at each other, and Wade just shook his head. And Pat Riley said, "Damn, that was Riles." Was that the reason why LeBron James left? No, probably not the main reason, but it was one of the reasons. And I'm going to take you guys back a little bit further. Organizations and coaches sometimes make stupid-ass mistakes with tiny little details. For my NBA heads that'll probably remember this, but for most of you that don't, back in 2000, not Miami Heat, the Orlando Magic, was trying to build the big three of Tracy McGrady, Grant Hill, and Tim Duncan. They got Tracy McGrady and Grant Hill. They almost had Tim Duncan, but during a meeting when they were out to dinner, Tim Duncan's eating his food and asked Coach Doc Rivers if he's allowed to bring family members on the team flights, and he canceled it. No. Tim Duncan looked at his agent and said, "This isn't going to work." And Tim Duncan re-signed with San Antonio, blowing up what could have potentially been a monster success in Orlando. Why do I mention this, you guys? Because team executives need to understand and need to cater sometimes to specific players. LeBron James is that player. Give his man the cookies. Give this man his cookies. What the hell? Now I'm going to read this quote from what LeBron James said on the Pat McAfee show. He's like, I love my cookies. The soft with little crispy edge. Yeah, perfect. I get on and they already know. Bring me my 2 cookies. And I'd get to gambling with the guys. I got my cookies and we're good. Then one flight I got on, I looked at them and they looked at me and they were like, oh, they didn't look familiar. I asked, you got the cookies? They said, no, we're not allowed to. No more cookies on these flights. We all knew where it came from. I looked at D-Wade. D-Wade looked at me and basically without even saying it, he was like, effing Riles. Done it again. Riles strikes again. End quote. So the point of this topic, you guys, Pat Riley recently turned 80 years old, and there's been a lot of people, ESPN's Kendrick Perkins, and a lot of people calling for Pat Riley's job. Is it time for Pat Riley to step down? I did mention this a couple of weeks ago. Is it time for Alonzo Mourning or Eric Spoelstra to take over? It's not really for us to say if he's ready to step down or not. But this whole Jimmy Butler thing, and LeBron James even mentioned it as well. Dwayne Wade's even talked about it also. This whole Jimmy Butler thing that happened, in my opinion, you guys, it was bad on both sides. Bad on both sides. I don't think the Heat were wrong by not giving Jimmy Butler the extension. I think Pat Riley should have not said that crap in the offseason about Jimmy keeping his mouth shut. You know what type of guy you have with Jimmy Butler. He's a talker. He's a shit talker. That's what he is. So just let him be him. By Pat Riley making that comment, I know that pissed off Jimmy Butler. Then you didn't give him his contract extension. That really pissed off Jimmy Butler. But at the end of the day, you guys, at the end of the day, when you have a superstar level player on your team who singly changes your franchise, you have to cater to them a little bit. Not act like a punk with them and let them walk all over you, but you got to give a little bit of flexibility. You're not going to give Alec Burks the same flexibility as Jimmy Butler. It's just the way it is. Some people are like, no, nobody's better, nobody's above the team. Not necessarily, but when you have a superstar level player, you got to try to keep them happy because players just change all the time. So is it time for Pat Riley to step down? Is it time for Pat Riley to retire and say, maybe Pat Riley's over the hill. Maybe he doesn't understand anymore. Personally, you guys, I don't think so. I think Pat Riley still has the Godfather label. I think that Pat Riley still has the respect for players. However, he's 80 years old. At this point, Pat, enjoy the last few years of your life, ride off into the sunset, and be happy. You couldn't win that championship with Jimmy Butler. And I know that's the reason why he didn't retire. I know a lot of people were saying that he wanted to stick with this squad and win a championship. Now Jimmy's gone. And you got to retool, rebuild this team. How many years is it going to take for this team to win a championship? How much longer can Pat Riley hold on? I think it's time for Pat to think about potentially stepping down just for his own personal benefit. He doesn't have anything to prove. He is the Godfather. He's had some incredible runs. Maybe it's time for Pat to step down. So Heat Nation, I want to hear from you. What do you guys think about these LeBron James comments? I love Pat Riley, you guys. I've only known Pat Riley since I've been a Heat fan. But at the end of the day, Father Time is undefeated. So let me know what you guys think in the comments. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe. We're pushing to 6,000 subscribers. Thank you guys so much for the continued support. And until next time, your boy Ernest out. And that is enough said.